Good early afternoon. We are live. I'm thinking 20 things at once. I'm thinking this camera's crooked. My clock is a little ahead. I put a new battery in it yesterday.
Camera's crooked.
Yeah, well, see? It's like I'm seeing it. Oh, there you go.
Is that better?
That's better. Yeah, thank you. I just, I kind of felt like doing that. So you fixed it. Thank you. And anyway, this is a beautiful day here in Orange Beach, Alabama. We're in the financial district where all the skyscrapers are here in Orange Beach. And come visit us sometime here in the wharf. We're on the second floor, the top floor of our building, and the top floor of our skyscraper. Anyway, beautiful day, beautiful day. You know what happens at 6:30 tonight?
I could take a guess.
Go ahead and guess.
I'm guessing there's a Mako's game.
That's exactly right. There is a Orange Beach Lady Mako's. Now, you know that this show is the official lunchtime show of the Orange Beach Lady Mako's. 4-time state champion, reigning national champion, Orange Beach Lady Mako's. Anyway, they have a game. We are away tonight, but it's in Gulf Shores, so it's kind of really not away. But it's a 6:30 game and an 8:15 game. They're playing a tournament, and I know that you have seen my national championship ring. Yes, that is my national championship ring. Also, today, Coach Alexander just brought by for the studio a jersey signed by our national championship team. And here is the Max Prep official national championship thing right there. Can you see that? Are you getting that? Okay, good. I'm going to make sure you're getting that. So this was Daigle Wilson's jersey, number 4. She is our senior shortstop, committed to Auburn, and she has now gone over 200 stolen bases. She is fast as the wind. And the other night she hit a home run that it got lost in the clouds before it came down. Anyway, that's tonight. So if you're in town or in the area and you want to go see the Makos, have to go to Gulf Shores, have to go into enemy territory to do it. But, we love Gulf Shores. And Dave Huco, how you doing? Shanda Danner, good to see you. Ruth from Southwest Virginia. Heather Olson, finally, you made it in time. Well, you did. And Martin Simmons, Floyd the Barber. Martin from Milton. Martin says, hey. Christy, my sister. Hey, Crisco. I was thinking about you this morning, and I can't remember what about. I remember it was good, but I can't remember exactly what I was thinking. It was something that probably you and I did. I don't know. I was thinking about something like you and me bugging somebody or whatever. We got a great show today. It is a research show, an opinion show. And as you know, this is probably the first time I've ever had an opinion. And so I thought we would do that today. First time in this hour I've had an opinion that I wanted to share. But I got to talking with Polly the other day about foods we used to eat, things we used to have. And like I was saying, do you remember those white chocolate cookies with the cranberry things in them that we used to eat because you used to make them? Remember those? Yes, I remember those. But, our boys have gone. The boys don't live at home anymore, so I'm not likely to get those cookies again. White chocolate cranberry cookies, and they were just unbelievable with a little bit of orange essence in them. So, got to thinking about making a list of foods that we used to eat, but I just don't see them anymore. Now, it may be, and you'll have to tell me if it's just the kind of part of the country I'm in, or if it's I'm not looking, or I'm not in the right place, or whatever. But number one on my list of, I think I got 30 of them. I've got like 30, 35 or something, but because there's a lot of things we quit eating, evidently. My first one is pear salad. Now, I don't know why my mother called it a salad, because it obviously was not a salad. It was a half of a canned pear on a piece of lettuce with mayonnaise in the hole and cheese sprinkled on that. Is anybody eating pear salads anymore? Oh, you are not. You are not. Don't raise your hand and tell me. We got people in the studio always going, yes, we eat pear salad. No, you don't. No, nobody eats it anymore. Nobody eats it anymore. She's saying, come to my house, I'll give you some pear salad. I didn't eat it when I was 5, and I ain't eating it now. Pear salad with mayonnaise. Mayonnaise and pears. That just doesn't go together, does it? I mean, it just doesn't go together. I like mayonnaise. I like pears. Then again, I like liver and I like ice cream, but I don't like it together. Number 2, tuna casserole. Now, the first 2 are things that I'm just not here about. I never ate them to begin with. My mom made tuna casserole about 1.5 times because I know she made it once. I remember our family having tuna casserole, and I didn't want to eat it. My daddy was like, "You're going to eat everything on your plate," and this was like, it wasn't as bad as the big it wasn't as bad as the big liver standoff of 1967, but it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Tuna casserole, and I'm about to sneeze. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. I've sneezed my brains out the past 2 days. I guess this pollen has kind of got me, but somewhere out there, somebody's got a pine tree with a thing. They're just putting it right into my nose. In Minnesota, they call tuna casserole tuna hot dish. Tuna hot dish. I mean, you can't disguise a casserole from a kid. I mean, you can tell him it's a hot dish, but a kid knows that's a casserole, and I ain't eating it. Anything, you can call it a hot dish. Anything you dump cream of mushroom soup in and mix it around, put it in the oven, that's a casserole, okay? Number 3, this is something I remember from childhood. Now, I didn't really like it because I didn't like all the flakes of coconut in it. But do you remember what you would have at Christmas time with flakes of coconut in it? Ambrosia. Is anybody eating ambrosia anymore? I haven't been to a Christmas party or a Christmas dinner or anything in a long time. Matt, do you even know what ambrosia is?
I'm not sure that I do.
Really? Ambrosia is like, has pineapple chunks and pineapple juice.
I think I did have this one time at a potluck when I was about, 10 years old or younger.
That was a pot, no luck. So what does it have in it?
Let's see. Let's look at this recipe here. dried fruit. Hold on.
I remember like those maraschino cherries in it.
Okay, pineapple, mandarin oranges, at least this one, yogurt, mini marshmallows, coconut, and whipped cream.
That's kind of like a dream thing. That's not ambrosia. Ambrosia was like juicy, and it was like you'd have it in a cup. It had oranges in it. It had oranges. Remember, and it had all those coconut shreds, which I don't like coconut shreds. I ended up thinking I didn't like coconut when I was a kid, but I like coconut when it comes in a chunk. But I guess it's a texture thing. It's like putting a handful of grass in my mouth or something. Okay, number 4, chicken a la king. Did you have chicken a la king growing up? I mean, I hadn't had chicken a la king in 40 years. And I'm only 36 years old. Number five, turkey tetrazzini. Kind of the same, in the same ballpark as chicken a la king. But it's like turkey tetrazzini. Did they serve that anywhere but school cafeterias? I think school cafeterias had turkey tetrazzini. I didn't like it. It looked too much like a casserole. I mean, when I was a kid, I was not eating a casserole. I just was not. Don't mix all that crap up and expect me to eat it. Okay. Number 6, olive loaf lunch meat. Do you remember that? Yeah. Oh. I mean, when's the last time you saw olive loaf? That seemed like such a Yankee thing for me. I mean, when I was growing up and somebody, would you like some olive loaf? I mean, that just seemed very, very Yankee to me. Would you like some olive loaf? Does that sound Yankee? Does it? Okay. No, ma'am. Well, we'll just take it back to Wisconsin. Okay, that's where they grow olive loaf, I think. Number 7, cream of wheat. You remember cream of wheat? Yankee grits? It's just Yankee grits. That's all it was. It's you know, Yankees going, well, I wouldn't eat grits. I wouldn't eat grits. You eat cream of wheat. But what has lasted? Grits. Grits has lasted. I mean, who has lasted? Waffle House, grits, and the University of Alabama's football team. That's what's lasted, I want to tell you. All right, number 8, sloppy joes with manwich sauce. We used to eat that every week. Is anybody eating sloppy joes anymore? Oh, you are not.
I still have sloppy joes.
What?
I've had, I think, 2 sloppy joes in the last year.
Have you really?
I have.
Out of manwich?
I think so.
A manwich makes a great meal.
I always thought it was interesting when
It's not a sandwich, it's a manwich.
that Julie would call them, hadn't heard of sloppy joes, but they called them tavern sandwiches up north.
Tavern
Yeah,
sandwich?
a tavern. I think she also said they were called a Maid-Rite or a loose meat sandwich, which is definitely the least appetizing.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't sound good, does it? I mean, that sounds Yankee too. Kids, we have some loose meat sandwiches in for you. Kids. That's my Yankee impression. Kids. Oh, come on now. We have some loose meat. How about tapioca? You know, tapioca, when they put raisins in it, it looked like something that had flies that had landed on it and they just stirred it in. That's what tapioca looked like to me. I'm not eating tapioca. See, that's why I wondered as I got started on this list, I was thinking, maybe I don't know about this stuff because I hated it when I was a kid and I'm just ignoring it. But I swear, I don't see Nobody's tried to force me to eat tapioca. You know, I mean, we hadn't gone to eat at anybody's house and they had tapioca. Like, you know, we used to regularly go eat at people's houses, and my dad would have to lean over to me, you know, as we're going in. Okay, they've got tapioca tonight. I don't want to hear you say a word about it. And when you get the tapioca on your plate, you eat all your tapioca. Do you hear me? I mean, just think of it as it's like dessert. So after you eat your turkey tetrazzini, you eat that tapioca. I think we might have some ambrosia too. But I wasn't eating tapioca. Now, how about baked Alaska? You know, I grew up hearing about baked Alaska. I spent some time of my life on cruise ships, and I would see them bring in the baked Alaskas, flaming baked Alaskas, and that's the only time I ever had baked Alaska. I've been in many restaurants that offered Cherries Jubilee and Bananas Foster, but I had never seen baked Alaska on a menu. And I had never I had never had anybody at the ballpark say, "Hey, you want to come by the house after the game? We got baked Alaska." Nobody, no kid, what kind of birthday cake you want? I think I want a baked Alaska. Nobody. I mean, I'm not hearing anything about it. Has it just gone away? Was it popular just because Alaska became a state? I don't know. How about number 11? This one's going to kill you. How about fondue? Remember? Fondue parties? Remember fondue parties? And now, I mean, you know, when you think about the fondue parties that they used to have, and I think about my mom and dad got this fondue pot that you put on the dining room table, and now think about it. Do you ever have fondue, Matt?
I've not really had it at someone's house, but the melting pot's still around, and
Yeah, but that's commercialized.
yeah, no, I never had a fondue party. No.
Yeah. Well, when I was growing up, you know, this was in the era before bicycle helmets or knee pads or, you know, walking down the street and having your parents 5 feet from you. You know, we were tough. We were tough kids. And our parents would have fondue parties. Now, if you never experienced a fondue party, it's like, honey, you're 5. Sit at the big table. Come here. Come, buddy, you 4-year-old. Climb up. All right. Now, the rest of you kids, how old are you? 8? You're 7. Okay, well, there's room for all of us. Get around here. We've got an open flame here in the house, an open flame, and we're putting a bowl of grease on it, okay? We're just putting a pot of grease, and we're going to put it over an open flame. No, there's no way to adjust the flame. We're just going to heat that grease till it smokes. And here, just stick a piece of meat on a stick and put it in the grease. And that was a fondue party. And there was some, it was interesting. You know, if you're an 8-year-old kid and you've read some books about the pioneers and cooking, you know, putting a squirrel on a stick and roasting him over the fire, there was something too. But you know, we usually had just like strip steak or probably round steak or chicken or something. And nobody had any squirrels that we could fondue. But I think about that whole little kid, open flame, bucket of grease. Hey, no, here, let me get, hey, get out of my way. Whoosh. Yeah, have a fondue party. All right, number 12, stuffed bell peppers. And I'm sure you're still eating stuff. Oh, of course you are. Of course you're having stuffed bell peppers. Oh, God. Stuffed bell peppers. My mama used to make those, and I didn't like those. Christy, did you like those? You remember stuffed bell peppers? It's like a bell pepper with ground beef and rice. Christy says, I remember the fondue. Daddy loved it. We'd have meat frying at the table. Yeah, that's right. Meat frying at the table. Okay, this pollen is getting me. I gotta blow my nose. So, hang on. I'll do this off camera. I think. Don't listen. Don't listen. Now, I know some people would say, what are you doing? Blowing your nose on live TV. I'm like, well, it is live TV. So what am I supposed to do? Drip? Would you rather me duck off the camera a little bit and you hear a little, or will you want me just to drip? All right, number 13, Waldorf salad. Now you're looking at her like you don't know what it is. You look to your right. I'm sure she serves it every day for lunch. It's salad made of apples. It's like different kind of apples and like raisins in it and mayonnaise on apples and celery and walnuts and grapes. This just doesn't sound good to me. I've had it and I can eat it, but I just prefer my grapes without mayonnaise. I mean, call me crazy, but I just prefer my grapes without mayonnaise. Number 14. Now, this is an old classic that I remember, and some restaurants still do a version of this, but brown bread and butter and molasses. There's some restaurants that still bring kind of brown bread out and butter, and I'm thinking you have to ask for the molasses, but we used to have that. I remember. Now, I ran this list by Polly, and Polly says this next one doesn't belong on there. But veal parmesan. I mean, I guess when you're in Italian restaurants, you probably see veal parmesan. But it seemed like my mother cooked it. I mean, I don't know that we have that at home. I didn't know what a veal was. I thought a veal was its own animal. But veal parmesan, maybe it doesn't belong on the list. I don't know. Swiss steak. That is the Yankee version of hamburger steak, isn't it? Yeah, I think so too. Would you like some Swiss steak? Kids, we have Swiss steak. I'm liking my Yankee accent today. I'm gonna have to throw my Yankee accent on Rick Burgess. I think so. You know, I am appearing or guesting or whatever you want to call it on the Rick Burgess radio show every other Wednesday during the 8 o'clock hour. And so it won't be tomorrow. It'll be next Wednesday. And then every other Wednesday is when I do it. Well, I think I'm going to have to throw down my Yankee accent on them. Guys, Rick, Speedy. All right, number 17, Beanie Weenies. Now, I did not like those. I think it was a texture thing, but I didn't like those. And I always had this sneaking suspicion that that they put them together because they rhymed. And that didn't sit well with me. I didn't, Beanie Weenie's kind of gross. Beanie Weenies was a Southern thing, wasn't it? Or did they eat Beanie Weenies up north? What did they call them? Kids, we got wieners and beans. Kids, come in for lunch. We have wieners and beans. My grandma would say, y'all get in there. You want any Beanie Weenies, you better get them while they last. The exact origin of Beanie Weenies is unknown, but the dish is similar to pork and beans with hot dogs replacing the pork. And the dish became popular during World War II when the military rationed wieners and beans. And it was the troops who started calling it Beanie Weenies. They also called it beans and gonads, but you probably didn't need to know that. That was what the troops called it, not me, the troops. Number 18, watermelon rind pickles. I keep looking at her. Every time I look over at her, she goes, yeah. My grandmother, not May, Nana, okay? My grandmother, Nana, used to make watermelon rind pickles, and they were great. And I talked about them for a while to my family, who were kind of like, yeah, not good. But, where do you find watermelon rind pickles? Where do you find anybody to make watermelon rind pickles? But there came a day when I pulled out a plate, and I had on the plate watermelon rind pickles. And I said to my family, I said, would you like some watermelon rind pickles? And they were like, what are they really? I said, they're watermelon rind pickles, and I made them. And I have to tell you what I did. I cheated a little bit, but it worked. After I cut the watermelon and got the red stuff in a place, I've still got the rind. All right, so I cut them into kind of squares like that big. And I scraped the white side to make sure I had all the soft red off of it. Then I turned over, and with a vegetable peeler, I took that dark green off. That hard green, I took it off. Then I sliced the watermelon rind into pieces about that long, about big around as my finger, and, about that long. And in my refrigerator, we had 2 jars of bread and butter pickles, both of them half full, which, if you know the Andrews family, that's not unusual to find a half jar of mayonnaise and a 3/4 jar of mayonnaise in the same refrigerator, all right? Because we got 4 people to go to the grocery store. So anyway, there are 2 jars of bread and butter pickles. So I took the jar that had the least amount of bread and butter pickles, put them into the other jar, which left me the juice of the bread and butter pickles. I stuffed those things, those spears of watermelon rind in there, and I stuffed them, I packed them tight enough so that the juice covered them all. Screwed it back on, put it in the back of the refrigerator, and literally a week later, they were great. I mean, they were great. Which set me off on a whole nother. I made some watermelon rind dill pickles. I made some watermelon rind spicy pickles. I made some watermelon rind garlic dill pickles. Whatever we had in the. I even threw a couple of pickles away so I could have the juice. And I made a lot of watermelon rind pickles. But I'm telling you, it works. It works. Tammy, Roger Luker, how are y'all doing? Good to see y'all. You know, you guys, if y'all are just getting on this show, yeah, Roger, you will relate. You will relate because Aunt Martha and Mama used to make some of the same stuff, and I'm sure you thought some of the same stuff. Heather Olson says that her grandma used to make shredded carrots with raisins and mayonnaise mixed with sugar. Yep, it was weird, but as a kid, I remember that. Carrot salad, they called it. Carrot salad. You know, Morrison's Cafeteria used to have carrot salad that was made just like that. Where's the carrot salad, folks? I mean, it's just like disappeared, except for her. I'm sure you eat it every day. Number 19, Clams Casino. How about that? Do you remember that? According to legend, the recipe for Clams Casino was originally developed in 1917 in the Little Casino in Narragansett, Rhode Island by a maitre d' for a woman who wanted something special for her guest. And so he made Clams Casino. But I don't ever hear about that anymore. Chop suey. Anybody ever even eaten chop suey? Oh, of course you have. You'd probably eat it for dessert. You know, we were ordering Chinese the other night. And Polly made the mistake of going, chop suey. How you make chop suey? That was her mistake. Asking me, how you make some chop suey? And so I started off with, first you get a bag of suey. She knew she was in trouble when I said that. First you get yourself a bag of suey. Then the rest of it's kind of obvious, isn't it? Really, when you think about it. Number 21, mincemeat pie. Remember mincemeat pies? You know, mincemeat pies used to be made out of meat that was minced. But it somehow developed into a thing with like, kind of like a fruitcake pie. You know, it was like all those kind of dried fruits and raisins and nuts, and then they called it minced meat, or it was really minced fruit pie. I was never a big deal on minced meat pie. All right, number 22, fruitcake. Now we see them. Everybody talks about them. Nobody but her eats them. I'm sure you eat them. Polly makes some kind of fruitcake that you don't cook, that you roll in like a sackcloth thing, and it's moist, and you roll it up. It's kind of hard. You roll it up, put it in the refrigerator for a couple of days. It's really good. I don't really know if it's really fruitcake. Number 23, spinach salad with hot bacon vinaigrette dressing. Now, I love that, but I don't see that anymore. Do you see that in restaurants? I don't. She makes it, does she? Use that grease from your fondue parties. Yeah. That's the only thing I was kind of weirded out about the spinach salad with the hot vinaigrette. It just has the bacon grease in it, you know, which is what gives it its taste, I guess. Number 24, Welsh rarebit over toast. Anybody? Anybody? I think Mama made that one time, and I drove her crazy saying, where'd you get the Welsh rabbit? She says, rarebit. Right, rabbit. Where'd you get him? It's not a him, it's like a mixture. A mixture of what? Of rarebit. Okay, so it's a mixed breed rabbit, like a Dutch, Dutch rabbit and a Flemish giant, or one of those big white ones. No, it's Welsh rarebit. I said, Mom, that's what I'm saying, Welsh rabbit. So I'm assuming they came from Wales. Drove her crazy. Number 25, brains and eggs. Now that is just disgusting. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you are. I don't care when you ate it. But there's a reason we're not seeing brains and eggs on menus today. Brains and eggs. And you know what they make brains and eggs out of? Eggs and brains. That's right, brains. Oh, gross. Okay, now this is an odd one. But I do not see this on menus. Corned beef on rye. What is the thing? What is the sandwich with the 1,000-gallon dressing?
Reuben.
A Reuben. Yeah, I see Reubens everywhere, but I don't see a corned beef on rye. Yes, I think that would be great said in a Yankee accent too. Kids, corned beef on rye. Stuffed cabbage. Stuffed cabbage used to be in the frozen food section of the supermarket. But cabbage kind of stuffed with the same thing they stuffed bell pepper with, ground beef and rice. Number 28, onion loaf. You used to find this on menus at barbecue or rib restaurants, but I don't ever see onion loaf. I mean, it was basically a bunch of onions put in a bread pan and then fried. And it was like onion rings that stuck together. And so I guess that was used by restaurants that couldn't figure out how to make non-greasy onion rings and have them hold together. They'd just say, this stuff ain't holding together. Just put it in a pot and grease it all. And onion loaf. I don't ever see that anywhere. Number 29, chicken cacciatore. No, I didn't like that one either. I didn't like chicken cacciatore. That's in the a la King tetrazzini. I mean, that's all just thrown in there together into a casserole. Number 30, an old-fashioned ice cream soda. Now, we have Coke floats and root beer floats, but they used to do, like, put the ice cream in, and then they would have plain soda water and then add whatever kind of flavored syrup you wanted. So and that's an old-fashioned ice cream soda. I don't know that I ever had one of those. But that's what they did. Number 31. Now this is an odd one. And I don't know if this belongs on there or if this is my opinion. Just kind of having noticed. I don't see French dressing offered as an option in restaurants. Now, it'd be on the buffet at Longhorn Steakhouse, but I mean, when they, come to the table and they say, we have this kind of dressing, this kind of dressing, this kind of dressing, I don't ever hear anybody say French. It's like we have blue cheese, raspberry vinaigrette. We have ranch. But I don't ever hear anybody say French. You want any French dressing? And now that's got to be a Southern thing. You want any French dressing? You want to cut some pickles up in it and make $1,000? We just cut some pickles up in it and make $1,000. I mean, now it's like, would you like ranch dressing, raspberry flavored ranch dressing, hot ranch dressing, sodium-free ranch dressing, gluten-free ranch dressing, non-fat ranch dressing? I get so sick of the, would you like Reese Cup flavored ranch dressing? No, just Just give me the French. Okay, number 32. I can't believe that my wife remembered this flavor. But Baskin Robbins in the 1970s had a cold duck wine flavored ice cream. Do anybody remember that? And I think about that now. It's like, okay, kids, I know you're too young to drink, but we got some wine flavor. We can get you hooked on the taste, and then when you're of age, you can really hit it hard. But we'll already have you liking it. It's like, okay. Even cold duck. Where's cold duck? I am of age now. But I hadn't seen cold duck in years. Number 33, lobster Newburg with that creamy, velvety sherry sauce from a package that you boil. And then you squeeze that plastic package of Newburg sauce over that frozen Stouffer's lobster. Ugh. Number 34. You're going to remember this, but you're going to go, yeah, where did that go? Carob. Remember carob? At one point, that was supposed to eliminate chocolate. And they had carob bars, and there were cookies with carob chips. But this, go to the bonus. This was a bonus one, but I want to end on number 35 because it has truly disappeared. But this bonus I had was tomato aspic, which is horrendous. Horrendous. Tomato aspic. It's like Jell-O with tomatoes and olives, green olives in it. And my wife from Mississippi loves tomato aspic. But the boys and I, we can't be in the same room with it. You know what my boys call tomato aspic when they're growing up? Boogers and blood. Green olives and chunks of tomatoes in Jell-O. You make your boogers and blood Jell-O, Mom. Okay, here is my ultimate disappeared food. And I hadn't even thought of this in 20 years. Rumaki. Remember rumaki? They would have it like in hotels as an appetizer. It was chicken livers and water chestnut wrapped in bacon and fried. Rumaki. I wonder if people having fondue parties make their own rumaki. Give me a piece of chicken liver, attach that water chestnut, wrap it in bacon, stick a stick through it, shove it into grease. Homemade rumaki. Well, that's it. That's our lost foods. So if you have any lost foods that you would like to remind us, some of you have, I appreciate it. And go make those. We will be here Thursday. And thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.